guys, it's Dr. Conklin here to do an amazingly exciting video for you on slope-intercept form. Now I had some background music going, but I do not know, sorry it's Taylor Swift and everyone loves her. I don't know why, but I can't figure out how to keep the music going and the video at the same time. If someone could tell me how to do that, then I can have music for you next time. But I promise I have a surprise halfway through the video for you. So we're going to review today slope-intercept form, which we know you covered in the past, y equals mx plus b. Now, you should be today. Excuse me. Today, you should be using a blank piece of paper. After page 10, I found a blank one in your new dilations packet. But today, we're just going to do sort of a day of reviewing slope-intercept form because we know some people were out, well, all of you guys were out last spring. We don't really know what people remember. And these kind of questions are all over the Regents curriculum for geometry. So slope-intercept form, probably one of the most formulas in all of algebra and geometry. Y equals mx plus b. M is slope, and you guys know b is the y-intercept. Okay, so I am going to ask you guys to hand in your copy of notes after this because we don't really have a problem to go with this. So make sure you've written down the title, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and then just remind yourself that the slope is m and b is the y-intercept. Give you guys a minute to do that. Not even. And then we're going to look at some problems today, okay? So find the slope and the y-intercept. And that's, we're going to have sort of two kinds of questions today we're going to look at. The first problem we're going to look at says, find the slope and the y-intercept for y equals 2x minus 1. Now this is already in y equals mx plus b form. So that means our slope is going to be 2 and our b is going to be negative 1. Slope 2, b negative 1. And then just to remind you, I know we did it yesterday, just a quick sketch. This b value here, b of negative 1, means that we're going to go to the graph and we're going to start at negative 1. Our slope we want to think about as rise over run. We're going to go up to 1, 2 over 1. And then we could make a graph. Okay, and we should always label our graph, make sure we have arrows on the end. You really only need 2 points to graph a line. We're not going to graph every line. I just wanted to make sure you guys remembered how to graph a line. And then I have my calculator here. It doesn't look exactly like yours, but if you go to y equals, clear out what we have, 2x minus 1, you can always graph it just to get a little look at it. Let me zoom in. If you want to see where the y-intercept is, right, it's at negative 1, you can see down here, and it's going positive. And then also just a reminder, you can hit second graph if you want to look at the points on the line. So that might be helpful in a future lesson. So just a quick reminder of our graphing calculator and lines. So why don't you guys try this one now, number 2. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. So what's our m here, and what's our b? Okay, so when you fill this in, our slope is negative 1/2, and our b is 4. All right, now if I look at number 3, this one is a little bit trickier. So let me just sort of zoom in on this guy. X plus y equals 6, same directions that we had before. However, we have a little bit of a problem. We can only find the m and the b when y is isolated or all by itself. Okay? I always think of the word isolated as sort of like a penguin sitting on an island by himself, right? He's isolated, he's all by himself. So we need to get this y by itself. So if I look at this y, I really want to get rid of this x over here. So how can I get rid of a positive x? Well, just a reminder, there's really a sneaky 1 in front here. So to get rid of positive 1, I'm going to take away 1x from this side. This is my equal sign, so what I do to one side, I got to do the other. The subtraction property of equality. These are going to cancel. Y equals, and I know it's a little spaced out. Now, just a hint, guys, do you see how this x is down here, but the x is first when we're writing our equation? I would actually tell you to write this. Do you see what I did here? Is I first put the x part, and then I brought the plus 6 over. So then we can find our m and our b. So our m would be -1, and our b would be 6. Okay, so let's try another one sort of like this. Now, again, remembering that word isolated. So we have 3y equals 2x plus 7. Are you writing this down, my friends? I hope so. Okay, we want to think about the penguin. We want to get this little y all isolated by itself. Why is a y not by itself? Well, we don't see it, but really there's multiplication here. We have multiplication, oopsies, multiplication by 3. The opposite of multiplying by 3 is dividing. Now here's a hint. I'm not just going to divide like this. No, not good, guys, because people forget things. Make sure when you're dividing, you want to divide every piece by 3. Okay, so these are going to stay by itself. Now, do not, my loves, turn this into a decimal. We always want to keep slopes as fractions because it's much easier for us to think about this. We would go up to, well, let me change my color, up to the right 3. That would be our rise over run. Now, this is going to happen a lot in geometry, more than algebra. Do you see how we're left with this? Same thing, just leave this how it is. Because geometry is a harder class, we're going to get some weird b values, but that's okay. We're not going to judge them. They're just doing their own b value thing, right? So here's our slope, 2/3, and here's our b, 7/3. Okay? Oh, hold on a second, guys. I hear my phone ringing. Ring, ring. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. Guys, oh, boy. You know who's calling. Hold on. I got to get it. 1 second. Hello? Hi. Yeah. Bay, we've talked about this. I know they haven't canceled Coachella yet in April. We already have our costumes. Yep. Yeah, we're doing 4, 5, 6. We're doing 6 wardrobe changes now. All right. Okay. Yep. I'm in the middle of a math video. I can't talk right now, honey. I know. We've discussed this. You need to take your deep breaths. We'll be back on tour soon. Okay. I got to go. Yep. Okay. All right. Yep. Bye. Okay, sorry guys, just a friend calling to check in. Okay, so now let's do a couple harder ones. Oops, what happened? Same directions as before. We're going to find the slope and y-intercept. So you don't need to rewrite the directions, but make sure you write this first. Now, 2x minus 4y equals 8. This is a harder one. We got a lot going on. Here's my y I want to isolate. Oh, here's my surprise I was going to do for you guys. Well, let's do this one, then I'll do the surprise because I just had that phone call interruption. Ugh. Gosh, so hard for a girl to work from home. All right, so we're going to get y by itself. Now we have not 1 step, but 2. We got to get rid of this 2x, and we got to get rid of this, not just 4, but -4. First things first, let's move over the 2x. So in order to move it over, and I can't just move it any way we want, we have to subtract. So we're left with -4y equals -2x plus 8. Remember what I did here? I took and I sort of flipped this, right? Now you're not done. We're going to combine both the skills we just reviewed. I'm going to divide every part, again, not just by 4, but by -4. Okay, so what's going to happen here? These 4s are going to cancel. That's good. We have an isolated y. Now here we want to simplify when we can, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So one really easy thing you can do in your calculator is you could just do -2 divided by -4. Notice I'm using the negative by enter, and that gives you 0.5. Now remember, we don't want to leave that as a decimal, so I'm going to hit math 1, math frac it up. Oh, now it wants me to buy something from Google probably. This is I downloaded on my iPad, the free version. 1/2. Now that's an easy example. I think a lot of you guys could see -2 over -4 is 1/2, but it's just good for us to sort of go over the process if you have like an uglier decimal. There are no ugly decimals, but ones that are just trickier. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude to decimals and fractions. 8 divided by -4 leaves us with -2. So again, our original question is what is m, what is b? So m is 1/2, and b is negative 2. Okay, let's try this one on your own. So try this one right now, number 6. What is our m and what is our b? So again, we want to isolate our y. I'm going to take away 3x from both sides. Make sure you're writing this down with me and checking your work actively. All right, so check your first step. Now to get y by, let me use a different color. To get y by itself, we're going to divide every part by 5. Y equals negative 3/5 x plus 9 over 5. And again, this is sort of, not the prettiest of fractions we have, but that's okay. So check your work. Was your m negative 3 over 5? And was your b 9 over 5? Yeah. And then just a reminder, guys, we talked about this in our video yesterday. If I was to ask you to write a line that's parallel to this, parallel lines, let me, hold on, I'm going to just quick add. So you guys just follow along with me in your notes here. Just want to remind you guys, we had y equals negative 3/5 x plus 9/5. If I asked you something like, write an equation of a line parallel to y equals negative 3/5 x plus 9/5, what could you write? Well, we know that lines that are parallel have the same slope. So parallel lines have the same slope. So actually, you could write something very simply like this. You could write something like this. Pick your favorite number. Right? 21 is my lucky number. You could even write something crazy. This is really crazy. 4.2375. Now there's only one equation with a slope of negative 3/5 you cannot write. So I'm going to write it, but make sure you're going to put a big sad face next to this one. What would be not parallel to this equation? This would not be parallel because guess what? It's the same exact line. So this equation would actually lay right on top. Right here, say this is our original equation. The other one, I could draw a line right on top of it. So that would not be parallel, that'd be the opposite. That'd be everything, infinitely many. So this is not an answer. All you have to do to find a parallel line is pick any number for your b that is different from the original. And then, since I've been talking about penguins, I wanted to draw you guys what I was picturing with the penguins. This is your little surprise. So here's his little ice cube that he lives on. Oh, it's so cute. It's a nice ice cube. He's in the water. He's got lots of friends that live near him. And then, I don't know if Mr. Fields' class knows. They're probably watching. Some of you guys are watching this video, but I also went to school for drawing. Oops. Well, that's not like the nicest looking pen. He looks sort of mean. Hold on. I can draw his feet better. How's a penguin? Do they have a beak? But when I think about penguins, I always just think they're sort of like all by themselves. Oh, they've got flippers, right? They're sort of all by themselves, living in the middle of the ocean, just sitting on a... All right, that's a little bit better. Still not great, but let me move his eye. He's a smiling penguin, so I'm trying to make him smiley. And then sometimes they have, I've noticed a little orange right here. I think those are like special kinds of penguins. That's actually one of my better drawings this year, as my class could probably attest to. I'm isolated. Just like Y, right? So he's all by himself, just like Y should be. Excellent. All right, so last two we're going to do, and then we'll call it a day. You guys are doing awesome. All right, so we're going to try these together. So it says write the equation of a line given a slope and a point. So this is a little different now. If you look at question number 7, I've told you that we have m is -2, and I've given you an x and a y. What are we missing here? To write the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b, we need to find b. That's what we're missing. So I'm going to use this little strategy, sort of a little table strategy. Let me give myself a little more room here, that I find really helpful when we're looking for m, or we're looking for b. We have y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to make a little shopping list of what we have and what we don't have. Okay, so our y is -5, our m is -2, and our x is 1. We don't know what b is. So does everyone see how I made that little list there? I would definitely copy this down. Now what we can do is we can substitute in to find b. So instead of putting in y, I'm going to put in -5. And I really like to use parentheses for my m and x just so I don't lose track of them. Oops. For my m, I'm going to put in -2. And for my x, I'm going to put in 1. Now, once I do that, I need to solve. So I'm going to multiply -2 times 1. So -5 equals -2 plus b, right? And I'm just going to keep moving everything until I get b isolated or by itself. So b is -3. Now, a huge mistake we see all the time is that students will do all this amazing hard work and forget to actually solve the question. The question says write the equation of a line. So we're going to use our m value, which is -2, and our b value, which is 3. So our final answer is y equals -2x minus 3. And I love this question, these kind of questions too. If they come up in the regions, I get so excited because they're super easy to check. All we have to do, first of all, does this have a slope of -2? You betcha, buddy. Now, to check our point, I'm going to go to y equals, on my graphing calculator, I have something in there. Oh, I already forgot what the equation is. -2x minus 3. -2x minus 3. I'm going to hit second graph, and I'm going to go to the table. Now, what point should be on there? Well, originally, I gave you guys this point. 1, -5 is 1, -5 in this equation. 1, -5. Phew, I was getting a little nervous. It's there. Okay, so I'll have you try one more on your own. It's so much math. I'm so proud of us. Okay, so last thing we'll do, try this one on your own. And it's okay, it's a fraction. We got this, right? So y, m, x, b. Fill in your table. X, y, 4, 1/2, -2. We're trying to find b. Right, so I'm going to put in 4 for y. For m, I'm going to put in 1/2. For x, I'm going to put in -2. Let me evaluate this. Again, feel free to punch in your calculator. You should get -1. Going to add 1 to both sides. B equals 5. Okay, so you're not done, my friends. What's our last step? What do we have to make sure we do? Write our equation of a line. So remember, here's our m. We just found our b. Y equals 1/2 x plus 5. And again, I'm going to just check and make sure that -2, 4 is on this line. So I'm going to go y equals, clear out what I have, 1/2 x plus 5, second table. And then I want to check, which point did we say? -2, 4. Oops, I got to go this way. Good, and -2, 4 is on it, so we got it. All right, well, let me go back to our penguin friend. Keep up the great work, guys. We're super proud of you. And again, feel free to email us if we can help you more one-on-one. Have a great day. Bye.